Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is INX Prime Live. Remember, we are on your screens every single Monday to Friday between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Now, today we are graced with the presence of two incredible leaders. Michael, whose commitment to social justice and community development has taken him from humble beginnings to influential leadership roles, as well as Rosemary, who joins us as well, who is a driving force in the field of nutrition in particular. Now, both of these guests have actually a lot of passion for improving public health beyond the traditional boundaries, and we will dive into how they can actually achieve that so successfully. Now, we are actually having them, we actually have them in studio right now. Good evening, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on INX Prime Live.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us.
No, it's a pleasure having you. I mean, I've always been so familiar with a lot of these chambers of commerce and different chambers that exist in South Africa. A lot of them are very old, a lot of elderly people that are in business for a long time. But there's a huge gap between that and our young people and the youth in the country. Now, I know that you guys are actually part of the Junior Chamber International in particular, and I'll come to you, Rosemary. Tell us a little bit more about what's it actually all about. What is the Junior Chamber International all about, and what's the market that you guys are actually targeting?
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for an incredible introduction. Like you said, youth. I'm a driving force. I just want to make that one clear. Back to your question, Junior Chamber International is a leadership-based organization. We are a network of global leaders aged 18 to 40 years. We are destined and committed to making positive change in our community. We made it our call to see our community, assess it, check the challenges, and see what we can do as young leaders in the community. We have stopped the history of complaining. We make it our responsibility as youth. Our mission is very clear. As JCI, we give the opportunity to youth. Our mission is to provide leadership development opportunity for youth to create positive change in our community. And one may ask himself or herself, where does JCI come from? When was it started? And who started it? JCI comes all the way from United States of America, the city of St. Louis, the state of Missouri. It was started in the 1915 by a young man called Henry Ginsberg. May his soul continue resting in peace. JCI headquarters is in St. Louis. We are one organization that is well structured. We have our headquarters. From our headquarters, we are demarcated into four global areas. We have Africa and Middle East, we have Asia and Pacific, we also have Europe and of course America, where we come from. Under all these four areas, we have what we call our national organizations, like JCI South Africa today. And areas are made of different countries that falls under that area. Like Africa and Middle East, you'll see countries that are in that area. And from the areas, we have what we call our national organizations that are made by the local chapters. Like for now, I mentioned JCI South Africa. JCI South Africa is made of the local chapters here in South Africa. You find that you have your JCI Tshwane, you have your JCI Durban, you have your JCI Sandton. That's what makes the the national chapter here in South Africa. We are a structured organization. At every level, we have different opportunities for leadership. At this point, allow me to stop here because we have another opportunity to share more about our beautiful organization. Thank you so much.
I mean, that sounds incredible, right? And also just understanding the fact that you are targeting a market that is, 18 to 40. It's a market that needs a lot of assistance, especially in South Africa. We have a high unemployment rate in South Africa. We're looking for more prominent leaders in the country as well. Michael, I'll come to you. We're speaking about the Junior Chamber International. And I mean, some of the alumni that come from it is like your Kofi Annan. It is actually like Park Stow, for example, who is our Minister of Trade and Industry currently. So these are big names, big leaders in that sense. I want to understand in terms of the Junior Chamber International, it does target a lot of young people, which is a great thing. But how do you get them firstly interested in the chapter, and also what programs do you have that helps them take them from point A to point B? Because I mean, if you're looking at challenges in South Africa, definitely leadership is a huge issue. Entrepreneurship and understanding entrepreneurship is an issue. What are some of the programs that you guys have?
Okay, so firstly, thank you again very, very much for having us. We live in a country which has the highest rate of youth unemployment on planet Earth, and simultaneously the most unequal country in the world. And so we do have to provide solutions to young people, and to provide these solutions urgently. We know actually Thabo Mbeki said this year that young people today are less skilled than their parents were, which must ring alarm bells for the potential future of the country. Hopefully it won't be the actual future of the country. So we know that looking at the rate of unemployment, both the public sector and the private sector can't possibly have enough jobs available to employ everyone. And so we have to give people entrepreneurial skills and confidence to start their own businesses, and ultimately to become so successful they'll be able to then employ others as well. So we give people confidence, we give people experience, we give people mentorship and guidance. So on the one side, we have our leadership track. So I happen to be this year's national JCI president, but we have a 1 year to lead system. Okay. So there's about, let's say it can take 7 or so years to become the national president, from getting onto the national board, because of the various roles that are available, teaching you different types of skills. But every year, for example, we have an annual program called Top Outstanding Young Persons. And this also affiliates to JCI globally. And in this program, we partner with Brand South Africa every single year. And we do identify people that are between the ages of 18 and 40, and ultimately that are going to be future leaders. And this we believe gives them confidence to become amazing role players in society. So people like Raymond Ackerman, people like Gary Player, they were recognized by JCI's so-called TOIP system before the country knew who they actually were. I know I'm talking for a long time, but we also have a program called Creative Young Entrepreneur, which starts at the local, then the national, then the international level, which is similar to things like Dragon's Den and Shark Tank, where people come and give their business pitch, and helps them on their entrepreneurial journey with both capital and mentorship and guidance. I can see I can go on about our programs for quite some time.
So you sound very passionate about it as well. Yeah. But I mean, just looking at these concepts, we do need a lot of it, right? We definitely need it in South Africa. It's something that interests a lot of young people, and it gets them to be passionate about the things that really matter. So having concepts similar to Shark Tank, and also having these awards. We have awards in South Africa. You have the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. You have Yoba. You have all these different awards. But we need that to be able to highlight our young people in South Africa. Now, Rosemary, I want to come back to you in particular, and we're talking about these benefits. Michael just mentioned some of them as well. The concept of developing leaders, about, helping with entrepreneurship, teaching the skills that are required. Those are some of the benefits of obviously being part of the Junior Chamber International. But we are getting comments and questions coming in from social media. People want to know how can they actually join, and also exactly that, what are some of the other benefits? What are some of the practical benefits of being a member of the Junior Chamber International, away from what Michael actually mentioned?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. He mentioned actually 2 of them. Yeah. In JCI, we have pegged our beautiful opportunities and beautiful benefits for our members into 4 areas. He mentioned an opportunity for entrepreneurship skills. He mentioned leadership opportunity. That's the second one. The third one would be, we give our members opportunities to be the change agent in the community. You would feel good about the positive impact that you have created in the community. More so that the initiatives that we do in the community is not just a once-off initiative. We target the problems with the initiatives that are sustainable. After some years, when you look back at what you have contributed to, it will fulfill you. That's the community opportunity. We also give the opportunity to travel the world, the international space. That's the one I love most. because it gives you the opportunity to meet young leaders out there. You collaborate, you share ideas, you tap into the world stage out there. We have different international events that we traveled to yearly. We would have our African Middle East conference with other areas also having their conferences. Towards the end of the year, we also have our World Congress where we travel and meet the whole world. That's another opportunity that we expose our member to. There are actually 4 areas of opportunities.
No, that's brilliant. And I think a lot of people are going to see value in those 4 different areas in particular. Now, I want to come back to you, Michael, as well. I mean, I was just listening to some of the comments and questions that are coming in, and people were speaking about exactly that. They're speaking about these different awards, platforms like Forbes 30 Under 30, but they're also speaking about other youth empowerment platforms, things like One Day Leader, for example, things like many other platforms. There's so many out there, right? What differentiates the Junior Chamber International from these type of platforms? Because you even get One Young World as well, which exists. They go out to different countries every single year. Leaders from all around the world come together in one city. What differentiates Junior Chamber International from those type of platforms as well?
I think a number of things really serve to differentiate us. Firstly, we are a very long-standing organization with a proven system. You can see, let's say, in a business, if you're going to change the CEO every year, it might be a disaster. But JCI has a proven system where it's actually a safe space to become a leader. We can honestly assume the likes of our alumni, the likes of Jacques Chirac, Al Gore, Bill Clinton, the prime ministers of Japan, the cabinets in Mongolia, mayors of Johannesburg, that these people came to JCI not having the scale of leadership and networking and public speaking quality that they ultimately attained later on through the beautiful organization that we happen to be in. We also do have an international public speaking competition as well. So, for example, this year our national convention is going to be held at the University of Fort Hare, where our organization there will be holding it. But why I'm mentioning this is because there we will have our national public speaking and debating competition. And the winner there can then compete at Africa and the Middle East, and then it's a national level. I think that gradually, because this is a safe space, it's actually what we call a leadership development opportunity, that people develop the confidence in a safe space that they ultimately believe that they can be anything that they possibly can be, whether it's in business, whether it's in politics. And you see our members and our alumni break new ground over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, it's very high quality people without a doubt. I mean, even looking at Parkstow, for example, Minister Parkstow, he speaks consistently about community development, and you guys emphasize that. You emphasize the importance of local and national community development, which plays such an important role. I just want to touch on some of the other questions and comments that are coming in. A lot of people want to get into contact with you guys, want to form part of your different chapters that you have in South Africa and some of the local chapters. How do people get involved with you guys, and what's the process like? Is it a lengthy process to become a member, or is it something that happens overnight?
So this is obviously a very prestigious organization, to be honest. So you can find JCI South Africa on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can email us, so on and so forth. But you can honestly do a very quick Google search to find us. Then one joins what is known as a local organization. So now we're in Houghton. Maybe you join JCI Sandton. There's a JCI 20 as well, where we were earlier today, coincidentally, where International Vice President Rosemary, she was the keynote speaker at Twane's Creative Young Entrepreneur, which is like Dragon's Den and Shark Tank and so on. And once you become a member of a local organization, ultimately you can rise through the ranks to eventually be a local president, get onto the national board. There's an Africa and Middle East structure, and then there's the global structure as well, where there's a world president, rotates on an annual basis. This year it's a man in India. Next year it'll be a man from Japan. But getting in, honestly, we do want to see that you are active, that you're involved, that you give some kind of value to the organization, and you're able to understand what our values and principles are. We do have a JCI creed where we do say things like faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. that we believe that service to humanity is the best work of life, and so on and so forth. So we want people to prove to us that they embody and internalize what our principles are, and that they are fundamentally committed to assisting us practically, and then we ultimately induct them as a member.
Look, I mean, it sounds very exciting and interesting, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to get into contact with both of you. But again, Michael and Rosemary, thank you so much for joining us tonight on INX Prime Live.
Thank you so much for having us.
Perfect. Guys,
Thank
that
you so
is Michael and Rosemary, who are actually from the Junior Chamber International, just sharing with us the importance of the platform, but also ways on which you guys can actually get involved and how can you interact and engage with them moving forward. And make sure that you do use the different social media platforms, you Google search, but make sure that you do emphasize the value that you can bring so that you can create a better future for tomorrow's leaders as well as tomorrow's entrepreneurs. Now, on that note, we are going to take a quick ad break. We'll come right back.